This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Hello. We are just days away from the 5-year anniversary of the wine country wildfires. The series of firestorms that broke out October 8th, 2017, certainly a huge wake-up call for all of us here in the Bay Area. The most destructive, the Tubbs fire. It ravaged Napa and Sonoma counties, flattening entire neighborhoods that you see there. 22 people were killed, more than 6,000 homes destroyed. Since then, the threat has only intensified. The North Bay has experienced more disasters, including the Kincaid fire in 2019 and the Walbridge and Glass fires of 2020. It is a new reality that changed how we understand and prepare for these wildfires. And as we approach October, some neighbors in Sonoma County are taking fire safety into their own hands. KPIX 5's Wilson Walker introduces us to some neighbors telling us how they mobilize and protect their homes and communities.
You fill it with 5 gallons of water, which we all know is 40 pounds because it's 8 pounds per gallon of water. And then you are ready to go shoot things.
Firefighting backpacks, pump systems small and large, and a defense system for the entire home.
So one thing people forget about is making sure that the fitting that you have is going to fit the fire engine hoses.
Alina Hagler has taken every possible step to protect her ridgetop property from the threat haunting the hills of West Sonoma County.
When the winds are blowing from the east in October, this gets to be very, I have a little bit of wind PTSD, I think most of us do.
I happened to be watching the observation cameras when the Walbridge fire started, so it came really close.
Liza Loop took the trauma of 2020 and turned it into a problem-solving challenge.
This is the first one that I'd seen that met all the criteria that I needed. Ha! I've got free power, and I'll keep myself cooler because I've got free power.
But her new solar-powered battery isn't just for her. It's a campaign tool in her effort to better prepare her neighbors on the edge of Guerneville.
So in doing the community organizing I do, I can say, come and see this thing and see whether you want it for yourself.
This is historical fire maps.
About 10 miles to the west, Hagler has been working with her neighbors trying to get everyone aligned on evacuation plans for narrow, winding roads. Her message is simple and direct.
These are where the fires have been historically. This is where you live. We need you to put it together that your area is fire prone, and you need to know your evacuation number and how would you get out. You need to make a plan.
This civilian mobilization is one result of 5 years marked by repeated fire disasters. More and more people taking their own steps to get equipped and be prepared. And that means reaching out to neighbors who may not be.
I think part of it is why people live out in these rural communities. They aren't always the people who wanted to do things the standard way. And I totally respect that, and I don't want to tell people what to do. Mostly what we want to do is give them the options and give them the information, and then they have to make a decision.
Self-reliance is an old idea here, and that is why many are taking their own initiative.
It's really nice to say, oh, the first responders will come and save me, but they can't do that for everybody. So you really want to have your neighborhood organized.
Mobilizing, finding solutions, reaching out to neighbors, and trying to adapt to this new era of fire risk.
So I don't think that historically people who had lived here, they knew that fire existed, but I think the level of fire, the size of the fires, I don't think we were expecting that. I know I wasn't.
In Sonoma County, Wilson Walker, KPIX 5.
Hats off to them. They are outsmarting the system. If I was on Survivor, I would want them on my secret alliance, for one. But on a serious note, when they hear the wind, I'm sure that is just another frightening reminder that we're in October, despite the rain that we may have had, right?
Right. This time of year, it's kind of the peak of our fire season, which is now more or less a year-round thing. The good news is we did have some rain in September, but of course, the longer that our stretch of dry weather now lasts, the more that fire danger is going to increase. So we can take a look at a statistic. It's called energy release component. Basically, it's a fire fuel buildup index, and so we can track that. Let me show you what you're looking at here. The gray line is normal throughout the year, so January 1st all the way through December 30th. The red line record levels of those dryness of the fire fuels. And the blue line is where we've been so far this year. And you can see how close we've been to record or even exceeding record dryness levels throughout the summertime. But then that big dip in the blue line, that's when we got that rain in mid-September that really knocked down the dryness of the fire fuels, added some moisture, didn't completely end the fire season though, because the dryness has been increasing once again, still remaining close to or even slightly above what's normal for this time of year in terms of the amount of moisture in the vegetation around the Bay Area, but we don't have any hint of rain in the extended forecast or even the really long range data that looks out a couple weeks in advance. So those numbers are likely to increase or at least run steady as we head through the next several weeks. So we are not out of the woods just yet in terms of the fire threat. The good news though is that rain in mid-September definitely helped us out in terms of at least attenuating the short-term fire threat.